Hello gamers, one of the easiest ways to grab a gamer's attention is by sitting them down with a good old-fashioned beat-em-up. The beat-em-up genre is possibly one of the most diverse and long-lasting genres in all of games. While the demand for beat-em-ups may not be as high today as it once was during the arcade era, there are plenty of passionate fans who still find them appealing. So here are some titles that have stood out as the best. Number 7. River City Girls. Every game on this list owes some of its existence to River City Ransom, and the classic series is still kicking thanks to the fresh River City Girls. As the name implies, you throw hands as high school students Misako and Kyoko, girlfriends of series protagonists Kunio and Riki, who have been captured. This flip of the script offers enjoyable melee combat backed by one of the best soundtracks in recent memory. Seriously, you'll be humming this game's tunes long after you've pummeled the final goon or wacky boss. River City Girls isn't perfect, and its difficulty can be punishing at times, but fans of old-school throwdowns won't be disappointed. Number 6. Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. Developer Capcom was a key player in the beat-em-up genre's popularity, thanks to several memorable arcade releases that gave players the opportunity to team up with a friend to pound enemy forces into pulp. Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle collects 7 of those games, including Final Fight and Knights of the Round, in a package that also includes online play for each game. If you fancy thumb-numbing, button-mashing action in either solo or multiplayer sessions, Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle is a recommended package. That said, it understandably lacks Capcom's licensed gems, such as Cadillacs and Dinosaurs or The Punisher. Number 5. Fight and Rage. The best at capturing the true spirit of the arcade era, this beat-em-up is a furious and sprite-based game that came out in 2017. It's full of sleaze and done in the form of an animal world. The foes? Rats, pigs, wolves, and others, reminiscent of some of the enemies in the arcade Battletoads or TMNT brawlers. That setup is done with a gorgeous glossy glaze that emphasizes shadows and highlights. In action, while the movesets don't aim for depth, impact feels sold from every hit. The weight of the combat, and even better the speed, push Fight and Rage to the top of Steam's beat-em-up roster. Number 4. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World coincided with the theatrical release of the movie which shares the same name. In the game, you can control either Scott Pilgrim, Ramona Flowers, Kim Pine, or Steven Stills. The goal of the game is to go through 7 different levels and fight Ramona's 7 evil exes. Having been mysteriously removed from digital storefronts a few years back, a complete edition of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was released recently on multiple platforms. It includes all of the game's original DLC and consequently provides the definitive way to enjoy this classic and charming beat-em-up. Number 3. Castle Crashers. The modern tentpole of the genre is this wacky 4-player weapons-based beat-em-up. Doused with an eclectic sense of humor and coupled with a catchy leveling system, this is, like River City, the rare beat-em-up worth losing a dozen or more hours to. Castle Crashers uses a delightfully cheery color palette and wild bosses to keep itself interesting, and if you obsess over leveling and unlocking characters, there are multiple difficulty levels to progress through. The chaos of multiplayer with up to 4 people is a joy, and there's enough depth here to really sink your teeth into. Catching low-level foes in a combo trap only adds to the sense of melee. And the scenery is drizzled with low-brow humor, which really brings out the laughter when among friends. Number 2. Streets of Rage 4. The Streets of Rage series truly needs no introduction. Given that it was one of the progenitors of the genre along with Final Fight. Streets of Rage 4 is the most recent entry in the long-running series, and it brought polished brawler action, unique characters, a bonkers story, and tight stage design to the forefront. What makes Streets of Rage 4 so iconic is that indie developers .emu managed to retain the arcade nature of the original Streets of Rage game while instilling modern sensibilities such as better checkpoints and online multiplayer. Plus, the art style is downright gorgeous. This classic still holds up in 2022 thanks to a host of graphical and technical improvements. Number 1. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge does right by Turtles arcade fans by giving them a familiar yet modernized beat-em-up that does the license justice. A whopping 6 players can team up to battle through an adventure inspired by the 1987 cartoon, with fun references to the show and even the classic movies. The action feels great, and a fantastic soundtrack by Sonic Mania composer T. Lopez sweetens the package. No matter if you're kicking shell in arcade mode or knocking off missions in story mode, Shredder's Revenge is the best TMNT game in ages, and it is the best beat-em-up you can play right now. That's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. And if you find the video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.